Welcome to the highlights. It was a day of wishful thinking for England supporters. Could the batsmen hold out all day? Might they be assisted by the weather? Could the game be pulled out of the fire? Well, they were starting off in a pretty rough situation at 214 for 7. The not-out batsman Lamb just one away from his century, and Gladstone Small not yet off the mark. Still to come, Graham Dilley and Paul Jarvis. 214 for 7, and outstanding bowling figures from Marshall, 3 for 43, and a wicket each to Patterson, Walsh and Ambrose, who were relatively expensive, but picked up the wickets at a crucial time for the West Indies. England, 228 more runs to win, but a more reasonable statistic is that West Indies needed just 3 wickets for their victory. We pick up play now in the first over. Patrick Patterson is coming in. 2 runs have been added. Gladstone Small is the man taking strike. And this time there's no hurry to go back, and no need to worry, because Malcolm Marshall has not quite managed to get down in time, which will give Patrick Patterson the chance to bowl again at Gladstone Small. Could there have been a deliberate touch in that from Malcolm Marshall, I wonder? That may have come off the pad, but certainly wasn't going to be LBW. No buys. No century yet for Alan Lamb. 4 at the total. Another ambitious appeal.
The context of the ball having to pitch on. The stumps are not outside the leg stump. I think that ambitious is putting it mildly.
Now Marshall to Gladstone Small. He should get 4 for that. He'll just beat the fielder into boundary. It runs very quickly down that end of the ground, just in front of cue stand, or just away to the right. Lamb now still on 99 and facing Patrick Patterson. There it is, 100 to Alan Lamb, his 9th Test 100, and the 4th time he's reached 3 figures against the West Indies. Been a good innings. Last century was back in 1984. That was against Sri Lanka, and it was in his 27th Test. Now he's playing in his 53rd, and has again made 100. 100 in 171 balls, 278 minutes, and 14 fours. Richards has got it. Misses nothing in the field. Doesn't matter whether he's out in the covers or at slip, where he quite often fields these days. Gladstone Small is gone, and it's now 232 for 8. Gladstone Small did the job of a tail-ender down there. He stuck around with Alan Lamb. Marshall has come around the wicket, and Richards pouches it very safely. Great effort from Malcolm Marshall throughout this game. He's bowled very well. Here he is now, bowling to Jarvis.
Oh, my word. Didn't get up all that much, but beaten for pace as well.
Yes, it's the angle that's obviously just doing them there a bit, but kept a fraction low, possibly from the length it was bowled. You can see it going down there, not really carrying, yet the odd delivery does go chest high to the keeper. And there it is, bouncing twice.
Well, there's runs there. Jarvis getting behind it nicely, and then before runs, that runs away down there, away from everybody.
So Jarvis no mug with the bat, he plays pretty straight. Lined that up pretty well, bat straight, and it ran away off the face of the bat, down to third man.
Looking to get forward and judging it nicely. Well, that's running repairs to the left hand. That's where it is. He's had his fair share of short deliveries so far.
This partnership, 15 runs, doesn't sound many, but it is holding the West Indies up, even though that may be a temporary measure. There's 4 more to Lamb. If you want to flash, then flash hard.
Yes, the old maxim, and certainly Alan Lamb carrying it out to perfection there. Giving that a real whack just at the last minute. And away it flew over the slips there. Lamb's played that way for most of his innings, giving himself a bit of room, and if the ball's been there, he has flashed pretty hard, so you've always got a chance of getting away with it.
Curtly Ambrose. Have to be quick. I reckon he would have been half a yard out there had that hit the stumps. Paul Jarvis wasn't backing up. In fact, I doubt very much if he expected the single, the field having been brought in, and the ball played almost to the right hand of the field to Carl Hooper.
Change of bowling at the pavilion end. Courtney Walsh, who's really bowled very, very well during this test match in a supportive role. This morning the 2 bowlers used to start with. Patrick Patterson bowled 8 overs economically for just 12 runs, and Marshall 7 overs for 17, along with a wicket of Small.
Lamb's going to look for 2, but I don't think they can get it. Oh, what a brilliant piece of fielding, and what a sacrifice. Didn't look from here to be any chance of 2. Lamb has run out for 113, and all the good work and all the plotting he was going through out there to bat right through the day has now come to nothing. Brilliant effort from Carl Hooper, racing around, picking up in his right hand, and a super return. Nicely taken too by Courtney Walsh.
Vivian Richards' ploy all morning of allowing Lamb 1 and teasing him to try and take 2 has finally resulted in his wicket. But an object lesson to any young bowlers is that once you've let go of the ball, your job isn't over. You've got to get back behind those stumps in order to take the throw in, just like that. From a different angle, stunning the ball into the ground a little bit in terms of the force of the stroke, which might have made him feel that perhaps there was 2 on. But a beautiful bit of fielding. Throw on the run, and everybody in the right place except Lamb.
254 for 9, and Graham Dilley. Reminiscent of the strokes he played against Australia in that innings at Headingley in 1981, when he was in with Ian Botham.
Yes, Graham Dilley doesn't need much room to throw the bat, and it was just in his area. Well, that's one fast bowler reminding another one that every ball won't be pitched up.
Another one straight down the ground for Graham Dilley.
Dilley can certainly strike the ball pretty straight. It takes the memory back a bit to Headingley when he batted with Ian Botham against the Australians for quite a long time. Got over 50.
That's just out of Desmond Haynes' reach. Here's the third man, so 2 more to Jarvis.
Just a little bit late there in getting on his front foot, Paul Jarvis, but no real chance.
Courtney Walsh to Paul Jarvis. What a great shot that is. It's for... Really, Jarvis has looked better and better.
Beautiful stroke from the England pace bowler. Perfectly in line, hands high, full blade of the black bat, and 4 runs. Just look at this. Cracking.
Patrick Patterson coming on for his first bowl of the match from the nursery end. Well, look at this from the England last pair. Another boundary.
Stroke from Graham Dilley. You give him width, no matter the length, he'll have a whack at it. Right foot was left behind a little, but timing was good enough.
And there's 4 more. Well, dear me, hitting with the spin almost brings the 300 up. And that's the partnership worth 49. Patterson bowling to Dilley. Well, one more. And now the run is starting to tick along. It's the 50 partnership. It's come off only 69 deliveries. That is it. Graham Dilley. He's caught off the bowling of Patrick Patterson. West Indies win the second Cornhill Test by 134 runs.
Here's the end of the Test match. Something a little bit inevitable about it. Didn't think that Dilley could ride his luck forever. But at the same time, credit to Patterson, who stuck to his task, and credit to the catcher, Richie Richardson.
It took quite a time to break that partnership, but in the end, Richie Richardson did it. Patterson, the wicket taker, and he deserved that. He bowled with great speed at different times in this match, and was a very good foil for Malcolm Marshall. Good effort from the England batsman today. Lamb going on to 113 before that run out, which was just on the foolish side of tragic. And Gladstone Small 7, Paul Jarvis 29, I thought played very well, and the partnership with Dilley just raised a faint hope that with some assistance from the weather, England might get out of it. But in truth, they didn't deserve it because of the bowling figures for the West Indies side. Outstanding effort from Malcolm Marshall, and Patterson, as I say, a good foil. He looks expensive there, but every so often he produced a devilish delivery, and Courtney Walsh, I thought, was unlucky throughout the match, as indeed was the case on occasions up at Trent Bridge in the first of the Cornhill Tests. Curtly Ambrose was a bit astray in direction today, 20 overs, 4 maidens, and 1 for 47. So that's the way it happened here at Lord's. England and West Indies. West Indies 209 and 397. It's a low-scoring game, mainly because of the first 2 innings being over so quickly. England 165 and 307. Well, that victory for the West Indies allowed Vivian Richards to accept a cheque for £6,500, and a very welcome one too for the West Indies. They thoroughly deserved it, and it must have been a very close-run thing between Gus Logie and Malcolm Marshall for the man of the match. Trevor Bailey, the former England all-rounder, gave it to Gus Logie, but it must have been just by a whisker. He played 2 very good innings, Logie, and shared 2 marvellous partnerships with Geoffrey Dujon. And the runner-up, Marshall, well, what a match he had. Absolutely magnificent. He confirmed what a great bowler he is. And bear in mind that he came into this Lord's Test match under an injury cloud, showed no signs of it out there. What a performer. Oh, must be. It's got to be one of the plumbest things ever, unless he got a touch on it. And the first wicket down for England. Oh, well, did it pitch in line with the stumps? That would be the big thing.
Well, that's done it. First one away and then the other. Graham Gooch nearly dropped his bat, but, well, what a strike from Malcolm Marshall in the West Indies. No wonder he's delighted, they're delighted. Graham Gooch is not having played the anchor role so well for England. 44 runs, 106 balls, 3 1/4 hours and 5 boundaries. Good solid performance from the England opener. Oh, huge appeal, and he's gone. Lamb doesn't tend to get very far forward, pushing in front of his leg and possibly round it. Disappointed there, but another great strike for West Indies and for Malcolm Marshall. Lamb having been in for well over an hour for just those 10 runs, and now England in trouble.
It's Marshall again that creates it, having bowled outside that off stump and left the bat. This one he brought back from outside the off stump.
Was more on pace. Certainly didn't bounce high, but Paul Down was certainly a little late in coming down on that. More or less a straight ball, but very quick.
So he will be able to take a first innings lead. And that's beautifully bowled. That is very, very clever bowling. Desmond Haynes is the man at mid-on. Marshall put the man over the offside and bowled a slower ball. Jarvis was drawn into the drive. That's very, very thoughtful stuff from the West Indian fast bowler.
Yes, I was just saying there that he was going to hold it back and get him caught in the covers. But Paul Jarvis managed to find the one man on the leg side. But certainly Marshall did him with the change of pace.
Brilliant effort from Malcolm Marshall. Graham Dilley has his stumps spread all over the place. Gladstone Small remains not out. He's on 5, and England all out for 165. And only 32 of those 165 runs coming from Malcolm Marshall. 18 overs, 5 maidens, 6 for 32. Admittedly, conditions a little bit in his favour, but they were in favour of the other bowlers as well. And he was the one who did so wonderfully well and took all the wickets. And he didn't stop there either, because when England batted a second time, he was in amongst them once again.
Yes, that's out. Great strike for Marshall. Gooch not all that far forward. And really a great assorted over, which has made the initial breakthrough. The bouncer, then beating Gooch outside off stump, and the ball nipping back up the slope. Oh, that's out. And everybody highly delighted. Marshall, well, gracious me. If only he'd keep running and go to the dressing room, I think. Both England openers now in his bag. He toyed with the idea of going round the wicket to Chris Broad. Decided against it. Broad looking at the offending edge. There's the perfect delivery, pitching a round leg stump and just the right sort of nick for the keeper.
And LBW. Well, Downton was beaten for pace there. He started back and then tried to get forward. He only had a fraction of a second to do so. Richards has got it. Misses nothing in the field. Doesn't matter whether he's out in the covers or at slip, where he quite often fields these days. Gladstone Small is gone. Another outstanding performance from Malcolm Marshall, and in all, in the match, 43 overs, 10 maidens, 10 for 92. You won't see many better figures than that in Test match cricket over the next 10 years. It's the third time Malcolm Marshall has taken 10 wickets in an innings. He did it against Australia in 1984. He did it against New Zealand in the same year. And here he is now, destroying England with some magic bowling, not just pace, but with bowling that confirmed that he really is a thinking man once he gets the ball in his hand. So West Indies now go to Old Trafford, 1 up in the series. I don't think they'll be at all easy to pull back from that position. Their batsmen are running into form, as we suggested they might. When they were having a bad trot early on, there was much jubilation around the country. But the runs are starting to flow now for Greenwich and Richards and Logie and Dujon. There's still a few others there who can make runs as well. Don't forget Desmond Haynes, and they will be very, very difficult to beat.